Good day, viewers and listeners, and welcome to the Progress Report. In this episode, you will hear from the newly elected president of the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association, GMSA, Ramsey Ali. Ali says Guyana's investment train has already left the station, and it is time for investors to get on board.
You need to be on board the train. If you're not on board the train, you only got yourself to blame. We have started some of the opportunities. We've started to form the partnerships, either between companies within the GMSA or external companies. If you look at some of the shore-based companies that have come up, there was a conglomeration between 4 or 5 current private sector companies. Cultivation of the soybean project, that's a good example of 3 or 4 companies coming together to make something happen, given the kind of infrastructure development that was supported by the government. So there are many more opportunities. I mean, outside of the very visible ones that you're seeing, there are a number of activities taking place in this country. If one looks at the forestry, for example, and forest products, the last president of Guyana, president of the GMSA, Mr. Rafi Khan, he has just benefited from a significant contract in the Caribbean. 2 countries, actually, I think, best of my knowledge, Barbados and St. Vincent, to build prefab houses. He teamed up with another external company to get that going, including financing and all that. If you come down the scale in terms of the size of investments, there are a number of small companies that are producing food, for example, that are up in their game because they recognize that, look, the landscape is changing, and it's changing quickly. People want food presented in a different way, for example. We need more prepackaged food. We need, of course, the organic is a big thing in this country, but I see a number of small agro-processors who up their game in the last 2 years or so, producing food, producing the way that people want it, restaurants, hotels. With the support that we're getting and we're seeing and the commitment of government to make these projects happen or to make these opportunities or to create these opportunities with us, I think we're in for a good ride. Private sector is in for a good ride in the next 5 to 10 years, at least. So there are opportunities the government has created. The thing is, private sector has to pick up some of those. We can't depend on government for everything. We still need, especially when you come down to the lower level of, and when I'm saying lower level, I'm talking about the smaller companies, the SMEs. And we are going to be talking with the government on this. We have to develop a matrix to engage government at different bilaterals and different ministries, where we think that there can be some more key infrastructure development. Things like areas of places where SMEs can have their products produced in a I'm talking about like a complex, an idea of a complex where you can have light manufacturing being done, good power. And the government can build these facilities out for agro-processing, and they can get returns back. So all these are things that we can talk to government about. They are being done. The GMSA has 8 subsectors, so it straddles right across. So we have membership in ICT, we have membership in construction engineering, we have membership in forestry and forestry products, we have mining, we have services, which is large, hospitality, restaurants, we have agro-processing, we have agriculture. So right now, we have close to 300 members across Guyana. A couple of years ago, we didn't have that. And it's growing every day. We also have a lot of members who are not Guyanese companies, but have formed partnerships with Guyanese companies. So it's very diverse. Some subsectors are, of course, functioning, meaning more active than some. Because what you find is that some companies would, tend to do most of their own lobbying. Because that's what the GMSA does. It's a membership organization. It is there for its members. We lobby government and other BSOs or other agencies, be it, donor agencies or regulatory agencies or whatever, for the benefit of the members. That's what we do. That's what we do as an organization. So some of them are, over the years, have been more active than some. If you look at agro-processing, for example, on CAP, we've had a very successful events with promoting agro-processing and agro-processors. And if you look at the agro-processors as they developed over the last 5-6 years, you'll be surprised to see what they're producing now in terms of what they were producing 5 years ago. That's part complementary from the GMSA. Forest products and forestry, very, very active. We actually be able to get the government, I think it was a couple of months ago, to put in a revolving fund for small operators within that. So we're talking about a virtual stockyard where people can put their products up for sale for export. So it's a very diverse organization, given the subsectors. Given the language that I'm hearing from the government in terms of the kind of projects that they are talking about, let's take, for example, construction engineering. Right now, if one looks at the major projects that are being conducted in Guyana, most of them are not being done by Guyanese companies. That's a fair statement, right? You've got a lot of Chinese companies and other companies that are doing some of the major projects. That's because we don't have the capacity, we don't have the kind of equipment, we don't have the kind of technology. Are we going to get there? I'm sure we are. But right now, we can't. We just don't have the capacity. And then, like I said, given the kind of narrative from the government in terms of what they are going to build out, it's going to be a challenge for us. The thing is, the opportunities are there. We have to grab them. We have to forge the partnerships to get ourselves there. Like any other development country, we have to find partners. We have to get investors. We have to get the capital from somewhere. We are open for foreign companies to come in here to produce, to plan, to use the resources of what we have. Investment into Guyana is a sure bet.
Guyana remains an attractive investment destination, and the investment train has indeed left the station. Local business lobbying groups are welcoming investment partners. We therefore encourage investors to explore the many opportunities that are available in Guyana. Until next time, I am Vivekanand Rajkumar.